You know, at this point, I stopped counting the days. But I will acknowledge the fact that it has somehow only been a year since we've gotten this trailer. A year! Yeah, sit and think about that for a second.
Everybody like, hey, are you ready to go? Ready to go? Everybody like, hey.
Alright, what's up y'all? Soul here and welcome back to my story mode. Today we're going to be talking about a few things that I need to happen in Breath of the Wild 2. Now I know that I haven't made a video in a solid while. The last video you guys probably saw was my Fall Guys video and that was kind of fun. But, you know, I've been having a couple computer problems here and there. I'm now literally at the point where I can't even use my computer right now. So, or at least the computer that I use to get gameplay and stuff like that. So all of the footage that you're going to be seeing here is from my old Breath of the Wild playthrough. Up on this channel, so you know, just in case you want to go check that out, maybe it could be posted in the link below or whatever. We'll see what happens. But today we're gonna be talking about Breath of the Wild 2, not the first one, and we haven't heard about that game since I believe it was the E3 presentation of 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, because it has only been, oh my god, I can't believe it's only been a year and we have heard nothing. It feels so much longer because we have not heard 1 ounce of information regarding Breath of the Wild 2 at all. We have nothing to go on besides anything but this trailer. This trailer's all we got. It's been over a year and we've got nothing to theorize with or anything besides whatever's packed into this one trailer. And all we know is that Zelda's hair is shorter and Ganon has a body that's more or less decrepit. Like that thing is on its way out. So anyway, I want to talk about some of the things that I feel would be important to come to the next game that would make the next one feel fresh, new, and a little more inviting and more just overall just fresh in comparison to the first game. Not that the first game wasn't fresh. The first game was a beautiful breath of fresh air. I was so tempted to say of the wild, but that wouldn't make any sense. It was such a breath of fresh air because it was so different. It was such a different take from the, Zelda that we know, the Zelda that we grew up with, or at least that y'all grew up with. I came into the series super late, but better late than never. I was 13, I'm 21 now. So, better late than never. We take what we can get out here. So, I feel like I've wasted your time enough. Why don't we start hopping into some things that I feel would make Breath of the Wild 2 a absolute masterpiece. For starters, I fully believe that we should be able to keep Zelda as a partner. There is absolutely no reason for her to be some kind of damsel or for her to disappear for whatever reason. There is no reason for her to be gone this time around. We literally saved her. Link would not just sit there and let her get kidnapped again or get, have to hold him back again. I feel like that's just repetitive now. Like if they were to get rid of Zelda for any reason, I feel like a lot of people would be pretty upset and it would be kind of harmful to the story because it's like, oh, okay, she's not here again. Of course. Why would she be, right? Come on. There's no reason for her to sit this one out. Zelda should be a partner. All right, I fully believe that there is no reason for her to be any kind of damsel again. And she has powers now. She's been using her power, full power, to keep the entirety of Ganon's being under wraps for over 100 years. Dog, she can handle herself. She can take care of herself just fine. She has very strong magic if she's able to keep that thing at bay. You saw what we fought at the end of the Breath of the Wild 1. She's able to keep that thing at bay for 100 years, dude. She should have access to magic and she should be able to handle herself as a partner. I fully believe that she should be a partner of ours, that should travel around with us or whatever we end up doing. Because honestly, traveling was super lonely in the first game. We were by ourselves for the majority of it and it was very sad. It was very lonely. It was fun. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like it would have been nice to have somebody to talk to or somebody to refer to, maybe somebody to give us, hints or some guides or maybe just some fun small talk, we walk into a town. Imagine if we were to have Zelda as a partner now, right? We'd walk into a town and she'd make little comments about some of the kids playing or maybe some of the things in the shops. Like, oh, this shop over here I've heard offers, dye and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it would be more fun to have a partner, somebody to refer to when maybe you're lost or maybe you don't know what to do next or maybe there's some secrets that she knows that you may not. I think it would be a lot of fun. I really do. I feel like Zelda would be a perfect partner that could not only handle herself in battle using her magic, maybe it could be limited, maybe you have to refill her, maybe you have to get some potions for her or whatever, but she should be able to handle herself just fine using her light magic or whatever other things she has. I'm not entirely sure what her capabilities are. I don't know what the limit is, but I don't see why not. She was given so much crap for not having her magic in touch, or not being in touch with her magic, and she has it and completely just pushed Ganon back for, again, I feel like I'm sorry I'm repeating myself so much, for over 100 years though. I think Zelda deserves to be a partner, not just some part of the story. She should be there. She should be there. It's a lot more fun. And I feel like the cutscenes would be a lot more interesting if we had Zelda to be able to interact with other people as well as Link, because Link doesn't talk, So I think it would be very, very interesting. Okay, moving on. Speaking of Zelda being able to use magic, we should have more magic-based abilities. The only magic that we really had access to were any of the magic weapons that we used, or pretty much the magic of the champions that we were able to utilize. And, that's cool and all, and dandy and all, but I think we're at the point now where if they've been together for as long as they have, I feel like Link should get more in touch with his magic side. Any other reincarnation of Link has had access to other things such as, Din's Flare, other wind magic, stuff like that. We don't even have access to any kind of fire magic now that I think about it. There's other items that, Link would use in previous games, like the wands and, the sand rods and the fire rods and stuff like that. Maybe we could get some access to some rods or something like that for Link to be able to use some kind of magic. Because long range, all we had were the arrows, and that was cool and all. We had the flame arrows and lightning arrows. That was cool and all. But I think using having a personal gauge of magic, if we're not going to have Zelda at least, I feel like Link should have a personal gauge of magic that he should have access to be able to use other things for long range, or maybe to help solve puzzles and stuff too, because why not? Zelda should be capable of teaching him magic, or maybe, being the chosen one, a reincarnation of all these different Links, he definitely should have access to some kind of magic by now. Dude is a Triforce of freaking courage, for God's sakes. Dude should have some access to real magic, all right? Not just reliant on magic arrows. That's just a personal preference of mine. Yeah, as I was saying, it gives us giving us new abilities, or, magic abilities gives us new ways to solve different puzzles. Maybe we have to shoot lightning here or here, wait, did we have any puzzles that were relying on specific arrows? I can't remember. We probably did, but they're not coming to mind right now. But, utilizing the gauge of fire or lightning or timing your magic would be very, very unique. And I feel like that would be it would be a lot of fun to implement that, especially since I get the feeling, for some reason, that this one is going to be very puzzle based. Like, I feel like it's going to be very puzzle heavy, figuring things out and going along, moving along. I feel like the whole open world aspect is going to be all Breath of the Wild 1. There's going to be a little exploring. There's going to be a little bit of freedom, but I feel like it's going to be very story heavy and very story driven, and we're going to be kind of put on a little bit of a set path, more so. I'm sure there's going to be ways for us to utilize, horses and stuff again. I'm sure there's going to be a smidge of open world for the most part, but I do feel that it's going to set us more on a path this time, based on, the hires that they were doing early last year for, more puzzle-based things. But that could have been for Link's Awakening. I'm not entirely sure, but we should be given new abilities that could help us solve puzzles and beat specific enemies. I think that would be very neat. And it would also give us, a lot of new ways to traverse the world as well. Maybe, some kind of hot air balloons. Maybe we could, I don't know. I'm just thinking outside the box here. I know Zelda ain't known for no hot air balloons. That's freaking ridiculous. But I think it would be very fun to utilize that magic to make your way around the world in different ways. Maybe some kind of teleportation magic. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, not that we really needed it. The slate is able to let us do that. So I don't know. I just feel like we could utilize magic very well, given the opportunity. And then the last thing I really wanted to talk about here was actually, I say I had a feeling about this because I kind of want it to happen too, but I feel like we do need a more direct and focused storyline, unlike the last game. In the last game, all of the true story of that game was pretty much just all found through memories. It was all memories. Any lore, any plot, any story, it was all through memories besides the intro and the ending. That's it. You could completely skip any ounce of real story, pretty much. I mean, obviously you would talk to characters like Impa and her granddaughter and stuff like that. There's a minimal amount of story, and there's obviously, going through the, what is it called? The champions, what are those things called? I can't remember what they're called. But saving like the ghosts of the champions and stuff like that, and Ratu and all that, like the, what are those called? I can't remember the names of the ships of the champions, and I'm already mid video and I feel like I'm doing okay, so I don't want to stop. I like the role that I'm on, so I'm not gonna look them up. But you know what I'm talking about. There was story. We had to fight bosses. Like, we had to do a lot of fighting, to save their souls and get access to their magic and stuff like that. However, again, learning about them was very minimal otherwise. Like, it was, I felt like you could completely, or rather, you could completely skip that, and it was too easy to do so. And to get the full scope of the story, you had to go out of your way to find the other memories, which, in hindsight, you probably should do. They put that in there for you for a reason. They also made it for the more casual person to where if you miss it, you miss it, you beat the game, have fun, whatever. That's cool and dandy and all, but I think we should be getting the full scope of the story this time around. I don't think we should be reliant on the past or all of the lore and scattering them throughout this open world to get the full story here. I think we should have a more focused, direct story. We should have a more direct storyline to focus on. And you want to get from, I guess I'm very simple like that, maybe you don't want to let that way, but I do feel like we would benefit a lot more and we would learn a lot. I feel like we could get some real development and stuff like that with Zelda, with Link, with even Ganon or whoever other characters if we had a direct storyline where things actually affected how things went. I think we should definitely have that. And I feel like Ganon as an enemy, he's obviously he's always going to be the big bad boss. At the end of the day, Ganon's always the big bad. But we have had other games where Ganon wasn't the main, villain. And considering that he was the main villain of the original Breath of the Wild, usually in a sequel, Ganon is not the main villain. That doesn't happen. Or if it does, it would be very weird. But, I think it's safe to finally, if we were to have a direct linear storyline, if we were to have a more focused storyline, we could have maybe others that, they're trying to revive his body or something like that, and we're gonna, thwart their plans or whatever. Maybe they even succeed and they get his regular body back, which would be fine. But we need more antagonists. I feel like we need more developed, rough antagonists. That's why people love characters like Zant and Giraham so much. They were some threats, boy. They were some threats. All right, Giraham was, he was the big bad for most of Skyward Sword. And, even though Skyward Sword is definitely considered one of the weaker entries, I really liked Giraham. I really liked that character. He was fun. He was interesting. And, he even had his own, version of development in a way. Being, dude's weapon. He had goals. He had a purpose, and I love that. And Zant, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I completely forgot what his goal was, but it was there, and he was very interesting. He was a fun character to fight, and he even had his form of development. Ganon in Breath of the Wild 1 is just this mass of pissed off energy that didn't know what to do with itself, so he decided to destroy all of Hyrule if it got the chance, which Zelda did not let it. All right. Yeah, we got the lore. We understand who Ganon is, what he is, and why he is the way he is in Breath of the Wild. But that as far as we know, as far as we're concerned, or as far as the regular kid that's playing Breath of the Wild is concerned, he's this big, bad, massive energy, and he's just mad. I'm sorry, Chief, but I'm gonna need a little bit more than that. Okay. Ganon should, I feel like he should be a character, if anything. I'm bring him back as a character if we're gonna go serious with Breath of the Wild 2. If you're gonna bring back Ganon as a villain again, make sure I don't want the same thing again. I'm sorry. The final boss in Breath of the Wild was great. I had lots of fun. Please don't get me wrong. However, it was a little easy. It was a little bit easy. The first form of him was a lot easier than was a lot harder than the second form, which was the final form. I don't know. Me personally, I love direct head-on battles. Like, I want the main villain to be talking absolute garbage. I want him to flame me, roast me, put me over the fire. And that's gonna motivate me to beat the absolute hell out of him. I want Ganon to talk that mad garbage, and I want to come for his neck. You see what I'm talking about? I want villains with real character, real development, characters that have a purpose, opposed or not. I want more like that. And with a more focused storyline, I feel like it would be a lot easier to place characters like that in, as opposed to Breath of the Wild 1, where you did your thing, characters were here and there, you met some cool characters and they were around, but once you're done with their section of the story, they just have nothing to do with anything, it feels like, that's just it. So I don't know, I want more focused characters that are also alive. I love the champions, but they're dead. I want I feel like having the champions as partners or something would have been so nice. It would have been so nice. But we're not talking about the champions. We need some new blood. We need some characters that are alive. And well, maybe their descendants would be great partners too. Maybe we could see them in battle and stuff like that. Maybe they get to, maybe we get to learn more about like Riju and the Goron kid. I can't remember his name. But I feel like, again, all of this is more than accomplishable with a focused storyline. Sorry if I sound repetitive, but that's my take on it. That's what I fully believe in. So I think on that note, I've given you everything that I want to talk about regarding Breath of the Wild 2. This is probably going to be the last video I make on Breath of the Wild 2, only because, or at least until the game comes out, only because we have nothing yet. It's going to be a while before we get any information on this game. And I mean, if it's still in, I guess it's still in development, so it's probably going to be another 2 years maybe. Who knows? But we'll see how it happens. We really will. So that's all. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the absolute greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest care of taking good at what? Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.